This week, the Western Hemisphere faces two extreme weather threats: a record-shattering hurricane in the Caribbean, and a sudden brutal Arctic invasion across the United States. Hurricane Melissa, born in the superheated Caribbean, is on a historic collision course with Jamaica, threatening lives and infrastructure like never before. Meanwhile, a series of powerful Arctic blasts are set to plunge much of the U.S. into an early, severe winter, bringing frigid temperatures, fierce winds, and even heavy snow. We'll break down Melissa's explosive growth, the sequence of Arctic blasts, and the critical steps you need to take to stay safe. Whether you're bracing for hurricane winds or Arctic cold, preparation is your best defense. Hurricane Melissa's rapid intensification has stunned forecasters and left little time for preparation. In just 24 hours, Melissa exploded from a tropical storm to a Category 4 hurricane, fueled by exceptionally warm waters and calm upper winds. This kind of rapid intensification is a nightmare for emergency planners. Warnings for a tropical storm can become tragically outdated as a major hurricane barrels in. Melissa now churns over the Caribbean as a massive, well-organized system, with a high chance of reaching Category 5 strength. Its current track puts Jamaica directly in the crosshairs, setting up a potential humanitarian crisis. The speed and scale of this threat are unprecedented for the region. The clock is ticking for those in its path. Jamaica has never faced a hurricane of this magnitude, at least not in living memory. The island, known for its vibrant culture, lush mountains, and turquoise waters, now finds itself in the direct path of a storm that meteorologists are calling unprecedented. For generations, Jamaicans have weathered tropical storms and hurricanes, but nothing has prepared them for what is now bearing down on their shores. Hurricane Melissa could be the first Category 4 or even Category 5 storm to strike the island directly. The sheer size and intensity of this system have stunned experts, with wind speeds and pressure readings that break regional records. The entire Caribbean is watching anxiously as Melissa barrels toward Jamaica, its eye growing larger and more defined with every passing hour. The government has issued its highest alert, urging all citizens to take immediate action. Across the island, frantic preparations are underway. Families are boarding up windows, stocking up on food and water, and seeking shelter wherever they can. Emergency officials are working around the clock, setting up barricades and coordinating evacuation plans for the most vulnerable communities. What makes Melissa especially dangerous is its slow, relentless movement. Unlike faster-moving storms that pass quickly, Melissa is expected to linger over Jamaica, battering the island with hurricane-force winds and torrential rain for up to 36 hours. This prolonged assault means that the damage will be far more severe and widespread than in typical storms. Prolonged exposure to such catastrophic winds will tear roofs from the homes, topple trees, and bring down power lines across entire regions. Streets will be littered with debris and neighborhoods could be plunged into darkness for weeks or even months. The scale of destruction is expected to be unlike anything the island has ever seen. Torrential rain, over 30 inches in some areas, will trigger deadly flash floods and mudslides, reshaping the landscape and isolating entire communities. Rural roads will become impassable, and hillsides may collapse under the weight of the water, threatening homes and lives in their path. Rivers will swell into raging torrents, overflowing their banks and sweeping away anything in their path. Entire villages could be cut off from the outside world, with bridges washed out and communication lines severed, leaving residents stranded and desperate for help. The combination of violent wind, relentless rain, and widespread flooding will test Jamaica's resilience like never before. Emergency workers and volunteers will be stretched to their limits as they try to reach those in need, while families cling to hope in each other in the face of overwhelming adversity. In the aftermath, survival and recovery will be a monumental challenge. Communities will need to come together, drawing on their strength and unity to rebuild what has been lost. The road ahead will be long and difficult, but the spirit of the Jamaican people will be crucial in overcoming this historic and devastating threat. Melissa's impact won't stop at Jamaica. Its vast size means devastation will ripple across the Caribbean. Haiti and the Dominican Republic will face dangerous rain bands, risking deadly floods and mudslides. Eastern Cuba is next in line, likely to see a major hurricane landfall with destructive winds and storm surge. The Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, though not in the direct path, will endure coastal flooding, power outages, and severe beach erosion. Even as Melissa weakens, its remnants could interact with U.S. weather systems, threatening the Northeast with heavy rain and wind next week. The storm's journey is far from over. The entire region must remain on high alert. Hurricane Melissa's three weapons, wind, rain, and storm surge, combine for maximum devastation. Category 5 winds can flatten homes, snap trees, and turn debris into deadly missiles. Torrential rain will unleash catastrophic flash floods and mudslides, especially in Jamaica's mountains. Storm surge, a wall of seawater up to 20 feet high, will inundate coastal communities and destroy infrastructure. These forces strike simultaneously, overwhelming emergency services and crippling recovery efforts. Surviving the storm is just the beginning. Rebuilding will take years. The scale of destruction will be historic. The Caribbean faces a true test of resilience. As the tropics rage, the U.S. braces for a dramatic shift. Autumn ends abruptly as Arctic air surges south. A series of 5 powerful Arctic blasts will plunge temperatures 20 to 40 degrees below normal, starting around Halloween. These blasts will strain power grids, freeze pipes, and catch many off guard with their speed and severity. A strong ridge in the west will funnel frigid air into the central and eastern U.S., locking in winter conditions for weeks. The pattern marks a total reversal from the recent, mild autumn. Winter is arriving early, and with a vengeance. The first Arctic blast arrives on Halloween, transforming what is usually a festive night into an unexpectedly frigid experience. As families prepare for trick-or-treating, a sharp chill sweeps across neighborhoods, catching many off guard. Costumes are layered over with winter coats and the air feels electric with the promise of change. This dramatic shift is driven by a powerful low-pressure system which acts like a massive engine, pulling icy air from the Arctic deep into the heart of the United States. Meteorologists track the swirling clouds as they spiral southward, signaling the start of a significant weather event. Trick-or-treaters in the Midwest and Northeast will face a sudden chill, with parents hurrying their children from house to house as the wind bites at exposed skin. The usual excitement of Halloween is mixed with surprise at just how quickly the temperature has dropped. Blustery winds whip through the streets, sending autumn leaves swirling and making it feel even colder. Temperatures plunge rapidly, and the first hints of winter seem to arrive overnight, leaving many to wonder if fall has ended early. Just days later, a second, even colder blast sweeps in during early November. This surge is more intense, bringing the season's first snow to many areas and blanketing neighborhoods in white before most have even raked their leaves. Widespread freezes and hard frosts reach astonishingly far south, touching the Gulf Coast and leaving a sparkling layer of ice on fields and lawns. Even regions unaccustomed to early cold find themselves waking up to frosty mornings and icy windscreens. Over the next 2 weeks, 3 more Arctic surges reinforce the cold, each one pushing deeper and lasting longer. These repeated waves of frigid air bring a succession of snowstorms and keep temperatures well below average across much of the country. The result is a nation locked into a prolonged stretch of wintry weather. From the Great Plains to the East Coast, people bundle up in heavy coats, scarves, and gloves, adjusting to a winter that has arrived weeks ahead of schedule. Daytime highs, which just days before were in the comfortable 60s and 70s, now struggle to reach the 30s and 40s. Thermometers drop steadily and the contrast is felt in every breath of cold air. Overnight, temperatures plunge even further, with lows in the teens and 20s becoming the new normal. Frost forms thickly on windows, and the streets grow quiet as people retreat indoors to escape the biting cold. For farmers, the growing season ends abruptly. Crops that survived the fall are suddenly withered by frost, and fields that were green just days ago are now frozen and still. The early arrival of winter brings challenges for agriculture and communities alike. Lakes and ponds freeze rapidly, their surfaces turning to glassy sheets of ice. The transformation is swift, signaling that the landscape itself is entering a deep freeze. The message is clear: winter has arrived, sweeping across the country with remarkable speed and intensity, and settling in long before anyone expected. The Arctic air won't just bring cold, it will fuel a series of powerful storms. A nor'easter will lash the Carolinas with rain and wind, followed by a major storm tracking up the east coast. As these systems tap into Atlantic moisture, widespread rain will soak the mid-Atlantic and northeast, ending drought but ushering in a new threat. Early season snow will blanket the upper Midwest and, unusually, the southern Appalachians. Accumulating snow this far south in October is rare, underscoring the potency of the cold air. The combination of coastal storms and deep Arctic air sets the stage for disruptive winter weather weeks ahead of normal. The eastern U.S. must prepare for a turbulent start to winter. Preparation is critical, whether you're in the Caribbean, the U.S., or anywhere in the path of these powerful storms. The coming days will test the resilience of communities, families, and individuals alike. Now is the time to act, not to wait. Every moment spent getting ready could make a difference when the storm hits. In Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas, officials urge residents to evacuate low-lying and flood-prone areas immediately. Seek out sturdy shelter, preferably away from the coast. And make sure your emergency kits are fully stocked with food, water, medications, and important documents. Don't forget to include flashlights, batteries, and a portable radio to stay updated as conditions change. If you have pets, make arrangements for their safety as well. For Americans bracing for the freeze, winterize your home and car now. Inspect your heating system, insulate exposed pipes to prevent freezing, and stock up on cold weather gear, blankets, and non-perishable food. Make sure your car is ready for icy roads. Check antifreeze, tires, and keep an emergency kit in your vehicle. Prepare for possible power outages by having backup heat sources and extra batteries on hand. The next 2 weeks will bring relentless challenges across the region. In the south, a historic hurricane threatens to unleash devastating winds, torrential rain, and dangerous storm surges. Meanwhile, the north faces an early punishing winter, with blizzards, freezing temperatures, and hazardous travel conditions. Meteorologists warn that these events could break records and disrupt daily life on a massive scale. After Hurricane Melissa passes, the Caribbean will face a long and difficult road to recovery. Communities will need to rebuild homes, restore power, and clear debris. The risk of further storms remains high through November, so it's crucial to stay vigilant and prepared for additional threats. Aid organizations and volunteers will play a vital role in helping affected families get back on their feet. In the U.S., Arctic blasts and winter storms will disrupt daily routines, close schools, and test the limits of infrastructure. Power outages, hazardous roads, and limited access to essential services are likely. Communities must come together to support one another, especially the elderly and vulnerable, who may need extra help during extreme cold. Stay informed by monitoring official weather updates and following guidance from local authorities. Take every precaution to protect yourself, your family, and your neighbors. Check in on those who may need assistance and don't underestimate the power of preparation. The atmosphere is volatile. Respect its power and unpredictability. Nature's fury can change lives in an instant, so never take warnings lightly. We're entering a period of historic weather extremes. Stay alert, stay prepared, and above all, stay safe as we face the fury and the freeze together.